Okay. Welcome back to my top 100 movies of all time, people. We have 17 movies to get through on this list today. It's the most that I put on the list. You know the deal, like the video, but let's get into it. Number 92 is Grandma's Boy. I feel like this movie is just super underrated and no one really knows about it. There's like a select few of people that know about it in the world, and if you do, you love it. It's amazing. It came out of nowhere. I never saw any advertisements for this movie. I'd never heard of it until the night I watched it, and I love it. It's hilarious. It's the Happy Madison crew. They're great. Number 80 is The Truman Show. Now, this is the only Jim Carrey movie on my list, which is strange because I like his movies. It's just I don't love them. Love them. That's harsh. They're not my top 100s, except for this one. And The Truman Show is the least Jim Carrey movie on the least Jim Carrey movie of Jim Carrey movies, and it's on this list because it's one of those movies that it sparked that thing that I'll never forget and get rid of in my life. Where at some point when something crazy is happening, I go, "Wait a minute, am I on the Truman Show right now? am I Truman on the Truman Show?" So for that, it's just had this everlasting legacy that I will never forget. Number 75 is Lucky Number 11. You Look Right, They Go Left, the Kansas City Shuffle. That is just amazing. I feel like it's not as known as it should be. Bruce Willis is just at the height of his fame and acting prowess in the early 2000s. Josh Hartnett is in this, and he was everywhere, everywhere at the time. Also, Morgan Freeman is in it. It's just a great cast, a great fun movie that I think if you've missed, you should definitely go and watch. And if you haven't seen it in a while, go rewatch it. It's a blast. It's such a fun movie. Number 74, there's a lot of onlys on this list, and this is my only true horror movie that's made it to this list. It's Saw. The series, it's kind of gone off the deep end as the later movies, but the first one is a truly, truly great movie. It was groundbreaking. Some of the stuff that it did, it was creepy. It was scary. You didn't really know what was going on. It had that mystery element to it, and it's just a really, really, really good movie. Some of the movies in the series are good. This one's great. So yeah, that's why it's number 74. And the only horror fan. I'm not a big horror fan. Not a big horror guy. But the original Saw is one of the few that I really absolutely adore and love. Number 72 is I Am Legend. This is Will Smith's second best acting job. I think it's only beat out by Pursuit of Happiness. But he is freaking unbelievable in this movie, especially because he's working just by himself. He's so good in it. This hit right in that sweet spot of zombie apocalypse themes. You notice you don't see that stuff much more anymore. I mean, The Last of Us, to date this video, is really big right now, but that's kind of the resurgence for zombie type things. This came out right in that sweet spot where everybody just wanted to see zombie apocalypse stuff. I mean, this one's they're so heartbreaking because, one dog equals the entire state of New York. Everyone gets sad at that part where the dog dies. And there's also, it's interesting, there's an alternate ending to this movie that would have made it bad. So I'm glad they went with the theatrical cut. In the alternate ending, he survives, but he gives the wife that he's been trying to fix the cure actually works, and he gives the wife back to that lead, whatever they're called, and then he just leaves. It's kind of lame, so I'm glad they stuck with the original one. Slept on movie number 3 of just this video. I should have called this the movies the movies that were slept on. This movie is so damn meta. It's so good. It's it points out all the cliches for Star Trek and Star Wars nerds. It just makes fun of itself. It's such a fun time. The only reason I don't quote this movie more often is because no one would know what I'm talking about. But Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, this cast is so good. It's got so many good actors in it. Everyone's just really doing it in this movie, even though it's just this funny. If you've never heard of it, please go watch Galaxy Quest. It's so funny. Number 59 is 21 the movie. It's not really 21 the movie, but it's just called 21. So it's always hard to search when I'm looking to just go back to revisit this movie or look up anything about it. I have to look up 21 movie. It's very strange. It's the blackjack movie that's set in between Boston and Vegas. I mean, I love Vegas I love gambling. I love true stories. I love this small scope of a few college kids at MIT that learned how to count cards and got caught in Vegas. It's just this really fun little movie with a great soundtrack. The story's just a small contained thing, and it's really nice. It's just a great fun movie. Number 56 is Moon. So if I had a top 10 of movies that you haven't seen that I want you to see, this would be highly, highly up there. And that's actually funny enough. That's how I found this movie. I was just looking online, scooting around, and I saw like a top 10 movies you've never seen. And I was like, I saw this on like 3 of their lists, like 3 different lists. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll check this out. I normally don't do that. I'm kind of hard to get to convince to watch any other movie other than what I want to watch, but I saw this and it was amazing. Sam Rockwell is one of my low-key favorite actors. He's in this list a lot. He was just in Galaxy Quest, which I just mentioned. He's in that. And oh man, he is so good in this. I'm not going to spoil this one. This one's the one I won't spoil. But I'm telling you, if you're watching this, please, this is very, very high on my list of movies you should see. It's a fantastic movie. It's about a man who's working on a space station on the moon, and just a whole bunch of stuff happens, and it's really good. Movies like this really move me when it's just the actor working by himself, and you get to see, he's not playing off anybody but himself in the talking robot that's like kind of in command of the space station. It's really good. Please go watch it. Number 53 is Tropic Thunder. This movie also came out of nowhere. When I saw this in theaters, I didn't really think much of it. Ben Stiller has a kind of back and forth thing for me. Some of his movies I find really funny, other ones not so much, like Night at the Museum, Dodgeball, whoop. But this one is hilarious. Robert Downey Jr. is great in it. It's just, there's so many. I could quote this movie all day long, and I have a group of friends that we do quote this all the time when we see each other, and it's just fantastic. I'm the dude disguised as a dude playing another dude. Like, it's such a good movie. And Robert Downey Jr. does blackface, so that's another thing. Number 51 is Inside Man. And I told you all back when I did Heat on this list that I love a good heist movie. Clive Owen plays the protagonist, kind of the guy you're rooting for, but he's the bad guy. And the whole time he just tells the audience and the other characters in the movies that he is smarter than you. And he proves it time and time again throughout this. And it's just great. It's a great plot, great story, great heist. It's a really fun, interesting, great cast. Denzel is just kind of just doing it. Like, he's just, I don't know. It's just a really great movie. I love this one. Number 47 is The Social Network. Now, this is a movie that could truly never exist again. This movie with this story could never exist. If they were to make a Facebook movie nowadays, the stuff that they put in this movie, which is factual, which is stuff that actually happened, they would never allow this to be written again. I'm surprised this movie isn't like burned like books in World War II. Like, this just Mark Zuckerberg making a app where he makes people rate the appearance and attractiveness of girls is such a scummy thing to do. And the fact that this movie was made and came out in a time where like Facebook isn't what it is today is just great. I mean, it almost doesn't seem real to see what this company that I'm posting this video is getting posted onto is comparatively to where it started. And it's really weird. It's something that will never be made again. If a Facebook movie came out today, it would be this watered down crap. It would be torn apart and shit on by people on Facebook before it was ever written. It's just amazing. But I love this movie. To get away from that, I love the social media, the social network. I think it's a great movie. I think Jesse Eisenberg acts his ass off in it. It's wonderful. Number 45 is Inglourious Basterds. Now, I originally had this highlighted so I could talk about it more as I wanted to with some of these movies on this list. But as I get through this, I think there's not much that I can say about this movie that I think that you already know. I mean, Inglourious Basterds is fantastic. It's probably one of my favorite Tarantino films. There's so much tension in it. There's so many scenes that make you terrified. It's just Tarantino doing the best that he can. And Brad Pitt, again, he's on my list. I should have made a movie list with just him on it. Perfect casting all around in it. And World War II, again. So, I mean, this, obviously, I was going to love this. It's an amazing movie. I think this might be a movie that I might go watch, like, now. Number 41 is American Gangster. Now, Denzel's popped up on this list a couple times now, twice today. Biography crime drama is my number one most appeared movie type on this list. And this one is just, there's like 3 movies wrapped up into this one. There's something about Denzel's acting and the way the characters that he plays that it's almost the same guy every role, which I don't hate. It's like this guy who commands respect, kind of a dick, very dutiful and like noble, and you kind of hate him, but you respect the hell out of him. And it's every character he does is the same way, and I love it. But I kind of wish I could see him do something different. But hey, I mean, I love American Gangster. It's such a great, and again, it's my favorite genre. It's based loosely on a true story. What else would I want to see? All right, 4 to go. Jeez, so many on this list. Number 34 is Blood Diamond. If you ever wondered why Leonardo DiCaprio has 1 Oscar in his entire acting career, you could watch this movie and it would just confuse you even more as to why the man's never won one. I mean, he is amazing in this movie. I think this might be my favorite acting job he does. He just sells being South African. Just sells it. He completely suspended reality and suspended like my disbelief of it. It's crazy. The term "This is Africa" is like this disheartening cliche that means like it sucks, but it is what it is. And it's portrayed very well in this movie. It's very sad. It makes you like not ever want to buy a diamond or jewelry. And it raises some good awareness, and it's just a good message of a movie. But I can't understate how much I really do like this movie and the acting all around by everybody. These last 2 are my top 25, so we're getting up there. We're getting up there in this list. Number 24 is The Prestige. As amazing as it was to have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for 20 years or whatever, how long he played that character for, there's stuff like this where I watch this movie and get sad that he was kind of robbed the ability to really get out there and do a ton of movies, because him and Christian Bale in this movie are fantastic. This is another one I'm not going to spoil because I feel like it's been kind of slept on. I don't hear it talked about enough. I see it on a lot of like IMDb lists, and I know enough people who have seen it, but I feel like not a lot of people have seen it. And if you hadn't, this and Moon from this list are the 2 movies that I really, really want you to go see. Like, go see this immediately. The Prestige is so freaking good. It's so good. And then number 21 is 500 Days of Summer. So this could be the biggest result of where I was and what my headspace was in when I saw it that made me fall in love with it. And I mean, that's a good thing in movies, when you see something when you're in a certain point in your life and it hits you and you just fall in love with it. That's what movies are really supposed to do. And when it does it, it's amazing. This is like a relationship breakup movie, and I was going through a breakup when I watched it. So it just like forever will be a piece of my life. It like cemented itself into me. I don't know if I saw this being in a place like where I am now, or even just like not going through that rough shit, that it would have affected me that much. But I would like to think it did, because I love this movie. It's a fun movie. And I actually went back and watched it when I wasn't going through anything. And I was like, oh yeah, like I still love this movie. Like, not as much as I did a year ago or whatever, but just still, it's just crazy. I think it's fun. I love the way it jumps around between different times in the relationship to show you the highs and the lows, and then kind of ends on a twist, like a twist that kind of rips your heart out. So it's just a fantastic movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is great in it. Zooey Deschanel's great in it. It's just a fun film to watch. Ooh, I'm surprised I got through all that. Pretty long-winded. I'm kind of breath because I didn't really stop too many times. But that's about halfway through the list. On this list right now, there's 50. That was That was a one to tackle. So I think there's been a couple things missing off the list so far. If you haven't noticed, that Martin Scorsese hasn't appeared yet. Spoiler, he does a lot. I made a whole video about it. That's next week's video. It's Martin Scorsese time. So I hope you liked the video. If you've been watching these, I will try and put the list when I edit this of the movies because there's a lot. I put so many. It'll be right here, right there. Tell me what you've seen, what you haven't seen. If there's any of these movies that you really like too. Anything down in the comments, comment below, share this video to pass it around to help share it and, throw it out there. And otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.